Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Sharice and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy.
All right, you guys. Hello. We should be live.
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Saying live to you, Sharice. You're live?
I have not seen. Oh, on Facebook or on the, let me see.
Oh, anywhere. I don't see
a live button anywhere. Custom live streaming service. Oh, no.
Okay.
It's not.
It's not connected? Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we are live. I'm on Facebook Live.
Ooh, okay. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. So, good morning. We are here. We're excited to be here. Going into this fabulous kind of holiday weekend, which should be really fun. So I'm excited that 4th of July is on a Saturday and that we get to celebrate. A lot of people will be off on Friday. And so it's excited. So we're here. And then we're going to be off next week in honor of the holiday. And so, so we wanted to talk to you guys today. I am Natalie Elliott. This is Sharice B. This is the Together podcast, where we work so hard to bring you guys together so that we can all get it together. And so I was telling my partner the story of our Together. And I was like, what I like is I really do believe Sharice and I really are trying to come together. Like it really came up organically.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Us getting together to get it together.
Yes.
So I love that. So today what we're going to talk about, which is actually really, I think what I'm going through right now, is giving ourselves permission to be multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can, a little bit about also how, but I think the biggest thing is giving permission. So Sharice, I'm going to let you take it first because in that permission to be multifaceted, I feel like that goes right hand in hand with image and branding and all of that. So what's coming up for you as we start this topic of just giving yourself permission to be multifaceted, to do multiple things, especially for my ADHD users out there who it's hard for you to stay focused on one thing.
Yeah.
Let's start there. Okay, go, Sharice.
I think today it'll be a good time, for us and the listeners to give ourselves permission to release and take the pressure off choosing one identity, right? And to embrace all the parts of who we are and recognize that our greatest strength is the combination of all of our gifts. Right? Not just one of them. And I think that's where so many of us get stuck. Right? You need to focus on one thing. And trust me, there is a time and a place. Believe me. But you are multifaceted. You are many things. And I think as we have grown older and matured in our businesses and personal life, friendships, relationships, I think that we've come to understand that, hey, I'm multiple things and multiple people, multiple personalities. And, the people who are for me can handle that and can manage that. Right.
Yeah.
So can I. Right.
Yes.
So can I manage that. And the stuckness comes from trying to be that one thing. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And it's like, who told you that you had to be and pick one? Right? Who told you that, Natalie? Like, did you get that in high school, college, family? Like, did you even hear that?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear that until I started, I think, taking some business classes and things like that.
Yes,
marketing definitely wants you to focus down, niche down. And so I still think there's a power to that, but there's a way to do it in which you can bring all of your gifts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm learning now, how to be multifaceted without diluting what I'm doing.
Limiting and diluting.
Yes. So what I mean by that, y'all, I don't want to be, I don't want to be jack of all.
Yeah.
And this is the part as a business owner. I'm jack of all, so I'm not really making money anywhere.
Yeah.
That's been my fear. So if you do this and you start making $5 over here, and then, let me switch and start doing this now, I'm making $5 over here. And so now I've done 20 things, but I've only made $5 in each one. And so that's always my fear, is I didn't want to dilute myself so that I'm not powerful anywhere. And so I think now, as I'm giving myself permission to be multifaceted, I'm also figuring out how to be powerfully profitable when I do the different things.
Yes.
So, and I think that's what they were saying, like in the early years when I was hearing, like, specialize, you need to do one thing, and specialize and do one thing, and niche down and specialize and do one thing. I think as you progress in whatever career of choice you progress in, you will need to do more. Like you will need to be, I think, more creative. You'll need energy. You'll need that to bring all parts of yourself to it. And now I think, being the age that I am, 50, I can't believe I'm 50, y'all. But okay. Like when I say
that,
54. Okay, but being the age that I am now, learning, I can do more than this one thing. But hey, let's do it. Let's make sure we're making a profit. Like, let's make sure we are being profitable. How do we do this in a way where we still make money? And so I think that's for entrepreneurs, the key point is, because I want you guys to be, I like that phrase that I use, powerfully profitable. Like powerfully profitable. And don't do 20 things. I want to give you permission to do 20 things. But at this age, we got to be making money, y'all. We can't just be spinning our wheels just because we're excited about a new idea and we haven't figured out how it's going to make money for us yet. And that's my biggest thing. Let's make this money. All right, go ahead.
Well, one of my questions is, have you found yourself like good at one thing consistently, right? And then all of a sudden you come up with this really great idea, and then you kind of get distracted and veered off from the one thing that, I think we all have. And I think we do it often and too often. So there is the question in that, that whole scenario. And it's like, even within that, Natalie, it's like, okay, all right, so I am really good at this. All right, so if you're good at this and you've mastered this, that means you have a system, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't, you should. So if you have a system over here and this is making money, this is a well-oiled machine, then you get to go over here and be a little more multifaceted, right? You get to go over here and start a new thing, but I think, and I'm speaking, I always try to speak from my personal experience and, experiences that I've seen and experienced with others. I think what I've seen is, for myself personally, okay, I got a system here that works. Okay, so why not take this system and this skill over here and put it in this new space, right? Why am I acting like I never created a system and never learned anything when I go over here to this space? Like, no, you have to transfer the skills. And somehow when we go over and start a new venture, we forget that we have these skills to transfer over. Right? Even down to a team. I know, for me, anything that I do, I'm pretty much taking the same team with me. I might bring in some new people, that I learned from, that know more than me, but pretty much we're taking the same team over, right? And
so does that mean that in being multifaceted, you don't need to go too far? Because if you make too big of a change, then you won't be able to take that old team with you. So do you need to and I'm legitimately really asking. Do you need to think about, as I embrace my multifacetedness, who am I taking with me and where do I go next? Do we need to keep that in mind?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
you gotta that's really up to your wisdom and what you learned along the way and how tight is the team. Because if the team isn't growing and the team, isn't the right support system, they probably can't go. But if you would build a solid enough team and because of course might have this team, this person on this team might be strong enough to go. This person might not be, or they might have to, change position. So it just depends. That's where your business wisdom comes in, and you have to really say, oh, okay, so this is where we're pivoting to. You might have to cut the whole team, so, but that's on your CEO-ness, right? Those are the hard decisions that you have to make as a CEO. I've been there, done that. And
this is such a great conversation because it really has me thinking, okay, as I want to make this next pivot that I'm getting ready to make, have I thought about the team? Have I thought about who from the old team can I incorporate? What does a new team look like? It's really interesting.
Yeah, it is, and that's a deep part. But let's go a little bit more personal. Because that team thing that runs deep on a whole other level. Right. But let's go a little more personal when it comes to how we define ourselves. Like if we define ourselves, like one thing that I knew very early on that I did not want to define myself as a hairstylist. I knew that. I didn't even know what the other definitions were until years down the road. And I realized I'm an image consultant. Okay, cool. So I get it. So I stuck with image consultant, even though a whole lot of people knew me as their hairstylist only. I had to train them. Hey, I'm your image consultant and I do your hair. Right. Ooh. So because I had a whole other world and still have a whole other world of image consulting that none of my, like the friends and the hair clients don't know anything about. And then in the image consulting world, they know that I'm a hairstylist, but they really don't know my day to day. So I'll give you an example. I had a client come in and I met her as image consultant. Oh, yeah, I'm image consultant. I own a hair salon, blah, blah, blah. So she came in and she saw me doing hair. And she was like, oh, you a hairstylist? I was like, yeah, I told you that. I own a hair salon. I've been a hairstylist for 20 something years at that point. And so hairstyling, barbering, anything, beauty, brows, all that's image consulting. And this is the area I happen to specialize in, the whole woman. Right? Hair, wardrobe, and I have a team that makeup artists and other stylists and wardrobe stylists and all that stuff. So you have to explain it. And let me say one more thing. As a therapist, you are not just a therapist. Right. You are an entrepreneur. You are a writer. You're a speaker, a mentor, a spouse, a friend, so many things.
Right. So what I love about what you just said, and so you guys, and actually I hadn't done this in a while, so I need to get back toward doing this, but making sure that we have points that you guys can take away. But I think really what you just said, our number one asset to being multifaceted is labeling ourselves correctly. Yes. Because if you can label yourself correctly, then that's going to bust through some limiting beliefs for yourself and for your client. So I love that you said I'm an image consultant that also owns a salon and does hair, but I'm an image consultant and everything fits under that umbrella. And so I'm going to give you guys the task of you guys who are feeling confined, who you want to branch out into your multifacetedness and sit down and come up with a title for you, a title for yourself that allows you to do everything else, that can serve as an umbrella. And we often talk about umbrella companies, umbrella insurance, that one thing that everything else can fit under. And so I love this idea of like an umbrella image, an umbrella title.
So and it's so important for you to title yourself and define yourself with, in your identity, because people will define you for you.
How about that part?
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, I stood my ground in the image consultant as a hairstylist because, people will put you in that box. And I also never really truly marketed myself as a hairstylist. Because I fortunately live my life off of referrals.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't ever go do the whole social media hairstylist thing, right?
Yeah.
So now that I understand even more of who I truly am, I feel more comfortable doing hair in front of the camera because I don't feel limited anymore because, I have the vocabulary, I have the skill set, and the evidence to show people, oh yeah, I'm an image consultant. I can style you from head to toe. I can tell you what hairstyles go with your face shape. I can tell you what colors go with your skin tone and hair color. I can tell you what clothes to wear on your body shape. So when people hear that, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. And I should. And that's why, I really love to open hairstylists and other beauty professionals' minds into, oh, you're an image consultant and you should go ahead and get fully and professionally certified so that you can offer these extended services as well. Easy flow. Right. Definitely. And start teaching. We're just doing hairstyles and it's your natural gift. And how they wonder why, girl, you can do some hair because I know what colors look good on your skin, because I know what cut shapes your face best, fits your personality and your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Right. And a lot of them don't realize how gifted and skilled they are without the certifications.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These are your innate gifts. These are your natural gifts.
Yeah.
So take it to the next level and teach it and charge more and, take that skill and teach a class of other professionals, corporate professionals, Yeah,
definitely. So, all right. We touched on this a little bit before, but now I want you to bring it home a little bit. So how do we embrace our multifacetedness, come under an umbrella title, and not look scattered to the world? What do you think?
Okay, so
I don't want to look like I'm everywhere.
Yeah,
I want to look.
Own it. You have to own every piece of it. And I speak to that from hardcore experience because, I continuously, took classes and got certifications, when it came to hair and the image consulting, and how they did absolutely make sense. And I stood my ground on that, own it. So, so I remember us having a conversation, Natalie, when you were a little, okay, so how am I sick? You were moved. Okay. I think it's parallel for us. I was shrinking the hairstyling when that was my core. It was my core. It's how I met everyone I know practically, right? Yeah. It's how I got into image consulting. Okay. It was my gateway because I didn't know any other way. I didn't even have the words. I just knew I needed to be helping people look good. So I went to cosmetology school. Then I had to learn when I moved to Atlanta and learn image consulting. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's how I service the whole woman. So with you, getting into the sex therapy, you knew you wanted to help other therapists and you knew you wanted to supervise and you knew you were good with business, but recently, I have seen you start to speak more to the sex therapy when it comes to teaching other therapists how to get into that space. Am I right?
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Into that niche space.
Yes.
That is owning it. You went back to owning your core of why you really choose. I heard your story. I remember your story of why you got into specifically sex therapy, right? And that is an amazing story to share with people. I tell your story all the time, and repeat it for you. And they're like, oh, wow. And I hope some of my people are coming because they be like, oh man, I didn't know that even exists. I'm like, yeah, you might want to give her a call I'll reach out or something. But I just think it's a space that you knew you owned, but then you thought of grandiose, bigger things. So you shrink that space.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You are right. I think I haven't learned when you were saying, get this system together, get it together, then move on. And so it's almost like I felt like I couldn't manage more things. Like I need to kind of get this over here and kind of shut it down a little bit, and so I can focus on this over here. And so now I'm learning. I feel like it's a magic act where the guy's spinning the plate, so he'll get one spinning, and then get another spinning, and that's kind of feel like what I'm doing now. So, and I say that to say I feel like everything has an equal space and place. Whereas I didn't feel that before. Now I feel like, I can make all of these kind of work together. I just need to get all of them spinning and running in their own system and getting the systems in place.
And especially not abandoning your core.
Right? No, you're right.
Abandon that thing. Even if you get it on auto and you're not even touching it much, but you just maybe you speak about it and speak on it. But you cannot abandon that core thing.
Yeah.
That got you where you are.
I say that. Preach that. That's good stuff. All right, let me write that down. All right, so own every piece is number 2. And then owning every piece, don't abandon your core.
That right there is a whole... That in itself, I think, will bless many people, because you go out and start these new ventures and you have abandoned what you have been creating forever.
Yeah.
What you've been creating forever is supposed to get better and expand. And that means, okay, so now I got it. I've mastered this. Now I need to show other people how to master this. Like I got a method and a system. So let me share my system. That's where your money is.
Yeah.
You're wondering why your money is scattered.
Right. So I hear that was a word from my soul right there.
I know it. I know.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you got it. That's that. So that one system that you keep going to other people to get their systems, it's like, no, you got one. So you need to be over here working your system. It needs to be on auto ads somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and getting more therapists in. And all you got to do is touch it probably once a month. Go on a Zoom in this community and say, hey, because a lot of those communities really just roll on auto with great information in there. You show up once a month. Maybe you have people on your team showing up, doing a class here, doing a class there, drop a challenge here, a challenge there. You know, we abandoned the brilliance and then wonder why things aren't working.
And I think one of the reasons we do that, and I'm going to shift the conversation just a little, is because it's like, okay, which one do I focus on? Trying to only focus on one. Which one do I focus on? I think now, hindsight being 2020, being a little bit older, is asking more questions like, what season am I in now? And as women, we have monthly, like the weeks of the month can be seasonal for us, as to where we are in our cycle, where our family is. That's a huge predictor or a huge telling of what season am I in now. And so like if you got 5 kids under 5, your season is really at home taking care of your kids right now. And so if you look at what does my life need to do to support the season that I'm in, I think that'll give you a lot of answers and clarity. Another good question to ask, as opposed to which one should I be doing right now, is what gifts are needed right now? Which of my gifts are needed most right now? I have a friend who, she's a decorator. Yeah, she's a decorator. Even though she's a therapist, she's a licensed therapist. She will decorate everything around her. It is hilarious to me to see her decorating skill come out in the craziest ways, because it's going to come out no matter what. And then, so what was the point of me saying that? My light went off and I lost it. And so just seeing like when your gifts are needed, like in your community, and being able to address it. And so when I think of her, like sometimes her decorating gifts are definitely needed, but sometimes her therapy gifts are needed as well.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. So I want to say also, if you haven't reviewed what your gifts are, sit down over the next week and write a list of what your gifts are. Because I think we forget when we're doing them every day. And so when we start to think about which one of my gifts are needed right now, we'll draw a blank. Like, what are my gifts?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Another good question to ask is, what brings me alive? What's creating great energy for me right now? Like what's just exciting, and when I think about it, I can think about all of the things that go with it. So that's really great. Another good question to ask is, where can I have the greatest impact right now? And I think that question has you look at the larger community, the trends that are happening in your profession or field, in your community, and saying, okay, where can I create the greatest impact? What's the biggest need that I see? And so, and I think especially for business, because when you can sell to a need, are you not more powerful and more profitable when you can sell to a need? Girl, I like that, powerfully profitable. I'm just falling in love with that word.
You wrote that down, right?
No, I did not. Okay, let me write that down. Powerfully profitable.
Write it down big.
Yes, powerfully profitable. Sure, I feel like that's as big as the Together conference. You got it.
Okay.
Which Sharice actually said the word. She was like, girl, we gonna come together so we can get it together. And when she said together, I was like, oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to take that and use that. Like, and of course she was like, okay, go ahead. And so anyway, I'm just saying how things come up in conversations organically. It can be really magical and powerful.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what's next? Giving yourself permission. Go ahead.
Yes, I would say something that's really important that it has been something that I have been truly embodying, that I realized, like, how did you miss this? But most successful people around me, I realized they follow their calendar all year long.
Ooh.
They have organizations that they have their annual events, they have their quarterly events, they have their monthlies, they have their weekly. I do this weekly, I do this monthly, I do this quarterly, I do this annually.
Yep.
And I do this daily. Right?
Yeah.
And those are the successful people I know. And by now, in their 20th, 10th, 15th, 20th year, they got boards running the events. And they're just pretty much showing up saying, hey, I want this and that to happen.
Yep.
And it's not too late for that. And I had to stop beating myself up because I know I had started all this, Transparent Tuesday. I know I had started all this. I didn't stay consistent. So, 20 years later, okay, stop beating yourself up and start all over again. Pick up some of the stuff that you started, back when.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it. That's it. What season is this? Create your season, get that calendar. You've been doing your conferences now for some years in a row. Follow that calendar.
When I was thinking about it, I was like, but my conferences have been all over the place, scattered. And so now I think I'm bringing it in all together, which is why this conversation is so important for me today, like for me in my life, of bringing it all together. So I will be coming up with an umbrella title for myself that brings it all together. And then I am going to own every piece of it and go from there with, what do we say next? I can't read my own writing. Don't abandon my core.
Oh, yeah. Don't abandon your core.
I can read my writing for a second. So I am going to do that. And I'm excited. So, okay. I'm really excited, y'all. I feel like if y'all didn't get a word, I got a word today.
Yeah, I know, right?
Powerfully profitable. I got a word. I got 2 words today. But I'm getting a lot of clarity and just, all right, how to bring it all together. You can bring it all together. You can be multifaceted. I think you have to be organized. And what you just said is the calendar and planning things out and then holding to that calendar. And it's a little bit of I almost want to say it's like control in the middle of the chaos. So like, or controlled chaos or something that allows you to have the new wonderful ideas come in and be your multifaceted self, but to hold on to your core so that you can stay stable throughout your growth. Because you don't want to be a person that you got to scrap one thing to start the other thing.
I mean, if you stick to the core, you get to expand and grow, right? Okay, stick to the core, the conference, the Together conference. And okay, this year we're having someone speak and they're speaking about wellness. Okay, so next year it's going to be about sex therapy. Next year is, and who is it? Okay, so we're going to bring some men in this year. Okay, we're going to have a male speaker. Like it, but that core has to stay the same.
It does.
And guess what? You can have multiple conferences. You can have 2 conferences a year. And one of them can be for this and one can be for that. One can be for your supervision and one can be for the sex therapy and the marital. It could be 3 conferences. But if you have a real true calendar, one might be 3 days, one might be 1 day, one might be a half a day.
This is
Just
oh, girl, I'm so excited as you're saying all of this. I am. My heart is singing. So, okay. All right. Winding the people down for today. If you had a closing thought, a closing message, what would it be?
Master that core theme. Okay. Go back to what got you where you are today. It has to be a core thing that got you to where you are. I have to admit, it was hair, and it was hair and building community and relationships, right? And which expanded me and taught me so many things. So I tried to abandon hair. Like, girl, you don't get to do that. You just you get to do it a different way. But those are some of the people that have taught me everything that I know in the chair, inviting me out to conferences, inviting me into masterminds, seeing me as more than a hairstylist, right? Seeing me as their coach, as their mentor, as a good friend, as a family member, trusting me. And trusting me, I have been able to walk through so many different doors. So you are not just that one thing, but that core thing is probably what got you to where you are today. So when you're thinking about purpose, a lot of people are like, I don't know what my purpose is. No, you know exactly what your purpose is. You need to be reminded, and you need to be in the right circles and the right people to remind you. You probably happened up on, no, we won't say happened. You probably, attracted this podcast today because you need to understand what your purpose is, and you didn't abandon the purpose and wonder why your life is all over the place. Well, you abandoned your natural God-given gift, that gift that all the people call you for, all the people see that you just reek of. You're trying to go over here and do something completely different that is not who you are.
Yes.
Skipping steps.
This is what I did. So many things I can say because Sharisha stepped on some of y'all's feet. I heard it. I heard your toes pop on that one. So I'm going to simply say, if you are lost, if you are frailing around, if it feels that you're scattered and not multifaceted, then either give Sharice a call. You can get her on Facebook, or give me a call. Hindsight be a 2020. I had this conversation with somebody randomly at a party and put it all together for them, for their life, because it's always easier to see somebody else's life than your own, right? So y'all don't be out there struggling alone. I promise you, if you call me and Sharice, we could probably get you together in under an hour to give you like some direction and where to go so that you don't feel crazy. And I would love for you guys to see your multifacetedness as growth. Oh, wow, I'm just growing. And so I'm going to keep those fundamental things and I'm going to add all these new things. So, all right. All right, wonderful people. We enjoyed it today. I enjoyed it today. We'll be off next week.
Yes.
And so we will see you guys again on July is it going to be the 14th? Hold on.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
July 14th. We're going to see y'all on July
Wow.
14th. So,
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Audio Jungle.